Every time I go to the server to find every friend in the house wants to see me tonight. With a little shutdown, I feel it just right. All I wanna do is see a beautiful sunlight.
Hello people, it's Poet, and we're back on TimeShot. Now, before I get started, look what I've done on the roof. I'm starting the roof. Slowly but surely, it's getting done. But before I get started really with explaining what I'm doing here and continuing what I'm doing here, I got to tell you guys that the world download for TimeShot, if you don't know that that's out, where have you been? Everybody's been tweeting it, everybody's been mentioning it, but the world download for this TimeShot server is out. It's released. We're going to be releasing a world download every 2 months. Now, by the time you see this, because I know that I have an episode at least in the bag that I have to release first, by the time you see this, it'll be fairly long time since it's been released, but I want to ask you to go check it out. You can check it out at reddit.com/r/timeshot. So that's reddit.com/r/timeshot. Just like that, just like I wrote it right there. And unknown command. Shut up! It is a known command. It is a URL to a website. Check it out. It's the sticky post. I think I just called it March 25th. 2014 world download, something like that. Go check it out on the Reddit, and while you're on the Reddit, subscribe to the Reddit, follow the Reddit, and be one of our time shotters or whatever the name for the people who follow it are called. Definitely check it out. I think we've got like 100 or so followers on there. We need more. We need you guys to go on there and post your opinions about videos that you've seen of time shotters. Go out there and post your fan art. Go out there and post your fan videos. If you took a really cool screenshot in this TimeShot world, maybe you downloaded the map, post a screenshot on the Reddit. We all love to see it. We all check it out constantly. And we're kind of disappointed by the fact that there's not a huge amount of content on there. There are a few people who make a really good effort to constantly post on there, but for the most part, it is lacking, unfortunately. So again, check it out. Oh god, I see that creeper. I see him. It's a good thing I saw him. Come on. There we go. So, since the last episode, let's see, I worked on the roof a little bit, and I planted all of these trees down in here, just kind of trying to make it look a bit greener down here without it looking like a dark oak forest. I wanted the normal oak forest look to it, and thankfully I was greeted with a really good variety of oak trees here. Some of which I know that for a fact that I'll have to tear down again. Like probably these 4 in here. Because I wanted to build quite a big building in here. And probably some of these as well because I wanted to expand my farm. But at least for the most part, it gives me something to work with. It gives me stop following me around just because I have a carrot. It gives me something to work with. But anyway, in this episode, I thought that we would work on finishing up that roof. Not completely. We can see Fabe, I think this is Fabe, has done a railroad track all the way to where he has a base. And he asked me permission first if he could build it here within view, and I said absolutely, that's okay. And I actually like seeing some activity in the distance. Looks pretty cool. And he was very kind to ask first. But let's see. What do we need to finish it off? We need a lot more dark oak of all kinds. I'm just going to take that because that should be enough, right? It's more than enough. Okay. How do I get up here? I need to figure out what I'm going to do for a stairway up. I'm almost thinking ladders might actually work. Put a ladder up the side of here or something. Might actually be better than a stairway, because I don't really have too much room for a nice looking stairway. Do I? Why am I asking you guys? You don't know. I don't know. Let me play around with something just for a second here. Just out of curiosity. I don't have any dirt. I need some dirt as like a scaffolding block. Where can I find some? Here's some. This I can actually put away. There we go. We'll go like that. Break all of these. And did I mess this up already? I did. Good job. Well, maybe not. Yeah, no, I didn't. Okay. So I can place this here, 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 and here. Make a nice little stairway up. Yikes. And then this could break right here. Could be the way through. Patch that up. So that doesn't look too bad. Yeah, that looks alright, I suppose. I'd want to make it look a little bit more, I don't know, thicker stairs, if you know what I mean. But that doesn't look too bad, I guess. I suppose it would be almost nicer if I had 2 stairways up, because otherwise it's kind of just an odd thing to have just 1 stairway up. I definitely actually, you know what? I for sure don't like this. I don't like the way that that looks. But just while I'm building anyway, I think that it'll be good enough. And eventually I think I'll put ladders up the sides like I had originally said. But I don't mind having a little bit of a stairway up while I'm building anyway. Alright, so in this episode, I'm going to be basically duplicating what I did over here. And it's not too hard to do. It just takes a bit of scaffolding, which again I have with me. So I'll be able to do that kind of just like that. Oopsie. Go all the way across. There we go. And now here, like that. Yeah. And like, I didn't forget a piece, did I? Nope. And like this. And again, in this episode, I don't really know what to talk about, except that for some unknown reason, I've been getting back into television a little bit. For a while, I didn't watch any television, and that was very much by choice. I just didn't care for what was on TV, and I've had that discussion before about how television these days basically is, how it's developed, what the target audience is. It's kind of a low-brow, if you ask me. It's not very good. So why would I start watching television again? But, you know, you get into a couple shows and I guess it grows on you more or less. It's the best way to think about it. Now let's see here. How does this work? I have to go like this. I think like that. Oops, nope. Probably messing something up while I build this. But I built this whole side there, and then after I built that whole side, I was thinking to myself, well, I really could have built this on camera. I don't really know why I didn't, except that I just I didn't have anything to say. And even now, talking about television, I don't really have anything to say about it, except that I've been watching things like Sherlock, which everybody and their dog has told me to watch a million times, and I never have. But finally I started to watch it, and it's amazing. Nia and I actually started picking it up, and it's really good. I really enjoy it quite a bit. Just like that, and like that. There. There. I think that's done, right? I think that's done. Now I can't remember. Actually, yes, I can. I can remember. I was gonna say I can't remember if stairs go there, but I'm pretty certain that they do. I'll have to double check. I'll have to double check by going across the other way. Double checking that. There we go. Lots of stairs used in this build. Yep, lots and lots and lots of stairs, which is okay. It gives it a very curved look, which Minecraft obviously always lacks. So I enjoy having stairs in the view. There we go. And again over here. Basically just duplicating the same thing again and again and again. I'm going to run out of stairs again here, so I can make some more. I've cut down so many dark oak trees getting all this dark oak wood, and I thought that I had tons of it, to the point where I was like practically giving it away to people. Literally throwing it away. And now I wish that I had more. Let's see. I guess what I could talk about is kind of a situation that Nia told me to talk about, but I'll kind of elaborate on it. But being forced to do something that you don't want to do by basically living at someone's house. Okay, so here's the situation. I won't give out too many personal information, too much personal details and that kind of stuff, but let's put a hypothetical situation together. Hypothetical situation. I can English. And let's just say that, imagine that you were in a situation where you had to live with someone, and you were doing so because you were kind of put out of your house for a while. It's a temporary measure, but nonetheless, you're living with someone. And these aren't your parents, these aren't your guardians or anything like that. These are friends. You're living with friends. Maybe you got a roommate. Maybe you're living with a roommate. You're in college or something, you're living with a roommate, and they put down some rules, some ground rules, if you will, where you have to abide by these rules, because you're basically their guest, and why wouldn't you abide by your guests? I mean, the rules of the person that you're staying with, I guess, is the way to put it. But the things that you have to do are very, very outside of the realm of your normal habits. Like maybe you're used to eating something a certain way, and they always eat it a certain different way. I mean, it's all about compromises, I guess, at the end of the day, when I think about it. As I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking, hey, actually, it's not all that bad. But I guess it can be definitely perceived as something being bad. Let's see. Hey, why did that happen? I think at the end of the day, when you live with someone, you got to make some compromises. This is the same for if you end up getting married, or if you always end up living with someone, a roommate of some kind. You end up making compromises, which, you know, sometimes you like making them, sometimes you don't. I guess that's just the way to look at it. I'm almost done this wall. Actually, already. I saw my mother was trying to call me on my phone. You probably heard the little buzzing. I'll have to call her back. My mama. Let's see here. There, I'm going to start like that. Which I think is the next step. Right? All the way across? Yeah. But when you live with someone, you learn what they like and what they dislike. I think it's a lot easier if you care about them when it's someone who's basically a stranger, like a roommate. I can definitely see how that would be a little bit more difficult to withstand. But I'm kind of curious how you guys would take this sort of situation, how you would handle it, what you would do. Like if someone said, well, while you're living under this house, you can no longer watch this television show because I hate this television show. So bring us back to that topic of television. Or, for example, while you're living under this house, you can no longer eat any junk food. You have to eat healthy no matter what. Or, for example, you could also say, while you're living under this house, you always have to do laundry on this day, only this day. You know, some more bizarre, I'm trying to make it more bizarre. A much more bizarre compromise. What would you do? You know, that's my question that I'll pose. Because when faced in that kind of situation, it just seems like the most inconvenient thing. I couldn't imagine, because I live on my own. I get to do whatever I want. It sounds like a childhood dream to be able to do whatever you want, when you want to do it. Yay. But to someone living with a roommate, for example, you can't just do that. You can't do what you want all the time. You have to make a compromise. And I'd like to know what the solution basically is. Is there a solution? I don't even know. I just screwed up and placed a block where I can't place a block yet. I need something. I need a certain something that I put away because I said I wouldn't need it. And now I do need it. And where is it? There it is. Come on. Let's go all the way back. Okay. This is what I need. See, I put my block there. Oh, wait, no. See, I'm messing it up again. How am I going to do this? I have to actually break these and go through. Place those back. And then, like so, done. That's kind of the entrance way. If I had that tall tree there still, I would jump for it. Now I don't know what I'm going to do. Ugh. Ouch. 4.5 hearts of damage. Let's take a look. Let's see if we can see it from here. Not really. At the end of the episode, I'll bounce out to there and see if we can get a better view. But I guess the same can be said for when people get married, or like I said, when they ultimately always have a roommate of some kind. I guess you just got to get used to that kind of difference. Like when someone doesn't like a certain type of food, when you're eating food and you like food and you always use a certain type of food and they don't like it. Like this has been the case for me quite a bit. And like I'm not saying that anybody I know is like this now, but in the past I've lived with people or had people come over or gone to dinner with people, and it turns out that they don't like spicy food, for example. And I really, 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 really like spicy food. Like, is that to you a deal breaker? Is that like, oh, I could never have a relationship with this person? I could never see myself living with this person because, you know, I need spicy food. And they are practically allergic to it. It's like people who are allergic to cats. My brother, extremely, extremely, extremely allergic to cats. To the point where he can't even be around them. Not even slightly. Or he actually might die. He's got like a breathing problem when it comes to cats. He might actually die if he's around one. So, you know, if you were like a girlfriend of his, for example, and you had cats or you loved cats, oh god, this is gonna hurt. Oh, ouch. Okay. If you had cats, that would kind of be more or less the deal breaker, wouldn't it? You know, what is the limit? What is the limitation? When do you have to say, okay, enough is enough. I need to eat this kind of food. I need to watch this kind of show. I need to be around cats, or the opposite. Like, I can't stand this show. I can't be around cats. I need to get out. You know, what is your limitation? I guess that's really what the whole topic is about what the limits are and how accommodating people can be. See, that looks not bad, except for the crafting table that's been left up there. But I think that looks all right. Looks pretty good. And the roof is only like half done. It'll eventually be like probably up to where my cursor is, maybe more. But that's looking pretty amazing so far, considering we just did that in this episode that you're watching right now. We built that side of the roof. Looks pretty cool, I think. Sort of a slightly altered and improved design from what I was working on Red Cubed. I kind of played around with it a bit. I added a little piece of glowstone. I decided, you know what? We're not going to make them little balconies that people can walk out on. They're just going to be closed off. Add a little piece of glowstone and it'll glow from afar just like it is. Kind of give it that shimmer and shine. I like it. But anyway, yeah, what if you were faced with having to give up something that you really, really, really liked? That's I guess the next part of it, is what if you were that person who really, really likes cats, but at the same time, hey, you really like my brother, and so you should. He's a good guy. Would you give up the cats that you love? Maybe you, like, pretend you really, really like cats. You've had cats all your life. What would be your compromise level? I'm curious to know. You know? And does the bigger the compromise indicate the bigger and more important the relationship? Is that the case? I don't know. For example, like I was saying, I really like spicy foods. I really do. However, you know, if I were in a situation where I had to give up spicy foods, would I give them up? And I think, you know, spicy food, to me, is not a huge compromise. If it was an animal, like my dog, if I had to give up, like, I wouldn't mind giving up spicy foods, is what I was going to say. If worse came to worse. I could always eat spicy food on my own. I mean, just because one person doesn't like it doesn't mean that you have to suffer all the time. Oh, you missed me. But like, what is the compromise limit? Like, would I give up my dog? Now, I love my dog to pieces, and it would take really, really, I don't know what the circumstances would have to be for me to have to give him up. Someone's allergic to dog. He's a little hypoallergenic dog, but hypoallergenic dog doesn't always mean that, you know, they're purely hypoallergenic. That's something that I learned the hard way. I was actually visiting a friend of mine, and they had a hypoallergenic animal of some kind. I forget what kind of animal it was. It's like a guinea pig or something, but not. I don't know. It was supposed to be hypoallergenic, whatever it was. And despite it being advertised as such, I was like hacking and coughing and sneezing, even though I'm not really allergic to any other animal out there. So, you know, I don't know. What if I had to give up my dog? It would be the hardest thing in my life. Now, what you find to be not a big deal, other people might find to be a huge deal. Like giving up spicy food. Maybe spicy food is what you've known all your life. If you're in some of those cultures, especially South American cultures, Asian cultures, and so on. I know that, like, I was talking about how I love Indian food. Like, if you're from that kind of culture, Thai culture, wherever, and you all of a sudden had to give up the kind of food that you grew up on, the kind of food that you love, maybe that would be a much harder thing. And the same can be said for people who tend to like food that isn't as healthy as it should be. You know, if it's what you grew up with, if it's what you know. My dad, always meat and potatoes kind of guy. If he had to give up meat and potatoes, I don't think he could do it, because that's just the way that he was raised. Whereas me, I'm much more satisfied eating the Asian cuisines or something like that. Something a lot healthier. Vegetarian cuisine. That kind of thing. I'd be fine with. Someone like my dad would never be fine with that. So, I think that's my topic. We built the roof a little bit. I'm done. But like I said, I'm kind of curious to see what your opinions would be. Whether or not you would compromise for someone else, and how much of a compromise you would make. Like, what is your limit? What is the one thing that you would not give up, or would be the hardest thing to give up? That's my question to you. And I think we'll leave you there with that one while I tear down this tree, because I don't want to get this here either. I want it out. I want it clean. I want it to be nice. I'm going to replant trees elsewhere. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and do all those other awesome things that people do. We'll see you next time on the TimeShot server. Again, check out that Reddit page. If you haven't remembered what it is, it would be http://reddit.com/r/timeshot. Check that out. Download the world, and while you're on the Reddit, post on the Reddit screenshots you might have taken. Take a screenshot on my horse like someone did. Take a screenshot like a postcard saying, hey, thanks for visiting type of thing. I don't know. Do all that if you want. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.